What is going on, everybody? Welcome to AZ Aus, and also to not only my very first upload, but also my very first episode in my Arizona Cardinals Offseason review series that I'll be doing. In today's episode, I'll be going over the re-signings made this offseason. I've split it up into 4 categories. I've divided the offensive side of the ball into 3 categories just because there were some more notable names that were brought back, and bigger contracts, obviously. And then I've put the defensive side and special teams together in one category just because there weren't any splash re-signings for our Cardinals this offseason. So I've lumped that all together in one category. So without further ado, let's get right into the receivers and running backs. Larry Legend, Larry Fitzgerald, coming back on a standard 1 year, $11 million deal. Larry had just over 800 yards receiving last year, was our best receiver. Very excited to have Larry back again. You could tell he was definitely enjoying himself a lot more than the Rosen, Steve Wilkes era that we had. He announced his comeback, I believe it was mid-January, and he said, he was having as much fun as he's ever had playing football. Which is awesome to hear. Awesome to hear that players are having such good opinions of Cliff Kingsbury as a coach. So it's going to be fun to see Larry coming back again to work not only with Cliff but also with Kyler and help his development be that reliable inside number 2 receiver for Kyler to have. Kenyon Drake. Because here in Australia, when we get the notifications for the trades and the big signings, they're usually quite early in the morning. So when I'd seen the Kenyon Drake trade, I thought he had initially been traded to the Colts, and I thought, well, that's a pretty good move for the Colts, not bad. Miami were not utilizing, I believe, Kenyon Drake to the best of his ability, so I thought it was a good move for the Colts that could, potentially unlock Kenyon Drake's ability. And then a few hours later, when I'd actually woken up, I'd realized that he'd been traded to my Cardinals. And what can I say? Kenyon Drake was phenomenal in the 8 games he played for us. Even in that first game, having over 100 yards from scrimmage against San Francisco, he barely knew the system, and it was day and night between the other running backs on the roster. So it was a really great move. Steve Keim giving up a 5th-round pick to acquire Kenyon Drake. So that was a great move by Steve Keim. We have brought Kenyon back on a 1-year transition tag deal. A bit pricey for a running back, but it was a great system fit. And I believe with the minimal draft capital we had, this was probably the best move to bring Kenyon back, especially because we were able to offload the David Johnson contract. So it's just a 1-year deal with Kenyon. So it's great to bring him back. And also, if you're a bit more of an analytics guy, Kenyon Drake had just shy of a 20 PFF grade higher with the Cardinals than he did with Miami, and just a bit more of a differential between him and David Johnson. You could definitely see the more burst in Kenyon Drake when he was on the field compared to David, and he did have a higher yards per attempt at 4.8 to David Johnson's 3.7. And just touching on the DJ Foster re-signing, 1-year deal, I don't think he'll make the team. I think the Eno Benjamin draft pick solidified that. However, it could happen where we're in a situation like we were last year when our running backs are all injured and you're having to bring guys off the street like Alfred Morris and Zach Zenner. But maybe he makes a team, but I just don't think so. On to the offensive line. We brought back DJ Humphries on a 3-year deal, which averages about to be $15 million a year. DJ finally was able to play all 16 games this year, which to all Arizona fans was a huge boost. I'm really happy to see DJ being able to stay healthy for all 16 games. And I think that every Arizona fan is cheering for DJ to be the left tackle, the franchise left tackle of the future, the first and only 1st-round pick so far by Steve Keim to receive a contract extension. So that's good to see, given some of Keim's shaky draft history. But we're really hoping DJ can grow under Sean Kugler, the offensive line coach. Once again, if you're a bit more of an analytics guy, It was DJ's best pass blocking grade career per PFF grading. His run blocking grade did fall for the first time under 70 as a seasonal grade. But he has definitely improved in his pass blocking. If you're going just off the PFF grading, so hopefully he can put it all together this coming year and be that solid, good franchise left tackle to protect Kyler Murray's blindside. We did bring back Marcus Gilbert on a 1-year deal. At first, I was questioning this move a bit. I saw it was about $3.7 million, which is it's a bit too much to give, I think, for a tackle that's extremely injury prone. However, once you look at the actual contract, it was $2.7 million in incentives, which is a bit more reassuring cap wise. Hoping Gilbert can stay healthy though, because he's a good starting right tackle in the league. He can also help with the Josh Jones development, because I think Josh Jones will be the answer on either left or right tackle going into the future. But it is good not to rush Jones into a starting role, to give Gilbert the starting role, I believe, for now, just so Josh Jones can develop a little bit more. So I thought for the incentive side of things and just the base of the contract, I thought that was a good re-signing there to bring Gilbert back. Justin Murray was brought back as well. I thought this was a good move, given Justin Murray, I believe, is a good backup. I don't view him as a solid starter, but I view him as a solid backup. He came in, he was put up against some good pass rushes last year, and I thought he did an honourable job filling in for Gilbert, especially when he did join the team late. So it's good to see that we're bringing Justin Murray back as well. And offensive line, you can't have too many good, decent offensive linemen in a league where the tackle position is quite a scarcity. So it's good to have Murray and Gilbert both coming back on 1-year deals. And finally, just to touch on Max Garcia, I think he's just an okay backup. Nothing special there, just a bit more reassurance. I would like to see Lamont Gilead get some reps at guard, the late round pick we had out of Georgia. But just an okay backup Garcia will be. So not a bad move, not a lot of cap allocated to him there. So you can't really complain. Just an okay move. Moving on to the quarterback signing, we brought back Brett Hundley on a 1-year deal. Initially, when we had signed Brett Hundley, there was a lot of speculation growing that he was brought in because of the system, and that's where the speculation sort of grew that we'd be taking Kyler Murray at 1, just because they thought Brett Hundley would sort of a good backup in Cliff's system. He did have to only come in for a few games, but in that Seattle game late in the year, in that hostile Seattle environment, he steered us to that win. In the clip I'll be showing, you can see that he was cool, calm, and collected. Most backups would have maybe just ran for the first down there, but you can see he kept his eyes downfield and hit Max Williams for a nice gain. And also in the run game, you could see he did good in the run game as well. So I think, is he a top 5 backup? No. But is he a good backup? Second year in Cliff's system? Yes. Especially with everything going on around the world with the coronavirus. It's good to have someone that's already had some time in the system, knows the playbook, and can come in and do the job of a backup quarterback. So I think the Brett Hundley re-signing is also good. It's not too expensive. Moving on to the defense and special teams, we brought back Zane Gonzalez as a restricted free agent. We tendered him there. Zane had a breakout year with us compared to his time in Cleveland. He had hit 34 out of 35 extra points. He had hit 31 out of 35 field goals, only missing 1 field goal from inside 39 yards. And he was also 2 from 2 from field goals, 50 plus yards. Also, 3 of the special teams contributors from last season are being brought back in Chris Banjo, Charles Washington, and Kevin Peterson. Some under the radar signings, not huge names, not big splashy re-signings, but some key contributors on our special teams. Steve Keim always raves about the importance of bringing in special teams contributors. With these three coming back, I do believe that they will make the team just based on their special teams abilities. You don't see them too much during the defensive snaps, but they are there for special teams plays. So some good re-signings, under the radar re-signings there. And finally, Jonathan Bullard being brought back on a 1-year deal, the only defensive re-signing. He's, in my opinion, just another guy. We did draft 2 defensive linemen, Zach Allen coming back from his neck injury, and Jordan Phillips with his big contract. So he may not make the team, just another guy, but I thought I would mention him as well. So just to wrap up the video, I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching. If you've stuck around this long, thank you again. I will be putting out some more content. Episode 2 hopefully will be out next week, where we'll go over the big splash move, probably the biggest splash move of the offseason, where we acquired DeAndre Hopkins, and I will be going over the players who are returning from injury. So hopefully I will see you there in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, please take care.